What's up, guys? Welcome back to GAMERViCE, where we are joined by Logan,
Howdy.
Kevin,
What's up?
and myself, Hank. How's everybody doing today? We're back today to bring you some more gaming news like we did last week. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you didn't, go check it out. But today we're going to be talking about E3, or the E3 that there is no more. We're going to be talking about the Super Mario Brothers movie and remakes. We really seem to keep coming back to this whole remakes conversation. I'm not a fan of it, but maybe you guys are. So E3, on the other hand, if you guys didn't know, is canceled as of now, moving forward. Can it make a comeback? I don't know. Let's hear what Logan or Kevin have to say about E3 and the cancellation.
I guess I'll take lead on this one. So E3 used to be an event that was needed because social media wasn't really around when it was at its height. We had E3 and we had magazines covering the E3 events. That was what I remember as how I got my information as far as what happened at E3. I remember getting those Game Informer magazines, and that's what I remember, and I always look forward to that time of year for those magazines. But now we've got social media, we've got Twitter, where people are leaking everything and all these rumors, and then we have all these showcases. We've got the Xbox showcase, we've got Sony, Nintendo, we've got all these showcases where these trailers are already being shown in all these smaller events. So there's no real reason anymore for an E3. And so do I think it's coming back? I don't think it's coming back. I don't think there's a need for it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I don't think there's a need for it, but I'm gonna miss it, and I actually
True.
think that it's going to. I actually think it's gonna make a comeback. I don't think it'll come back next year, but I think we're gonna hit a point where there's a lot of nostalgia for it, and it will return. I agree with you. I feel like nowadays with all the social media, like you said, and then the different publishers and developers having their own individual live streams. Obviously Xbox has their showcase, Sony State of Plays, Nintendo Directs, all of that, and it's a controlled way for them to get their point across. We've seen in the past with different reactions coming out of E3, some positive, a lot negative, and with the state of plays, the showcases and things like that, where it can be scripted and much more under control and put out whenever they want to put them out. I feel like those are like safer for these companies and publishers, but I do think we're going to hit a point where like everyone misses E3 because I don't know about you guys, but as much as I love gaming, I feel like I'm not sitting around like if Sony announces a state of play for next week, I'm probably not going to be like itching to watch it live. But whenever there was E3, it was like I gotta watch these conferences live. Like I want to see it as it happens. I feel like the level of excitement just isn't the same. It doesn't hit the same with these like individual live streams. So I do hope that it comes back, but I also understand why it's kind of gone away because you definitely don't need it now the way that the industry needed it in the past. Like when you didn't have social media, when you didn't have Twitter, when you didn't have this 24/7 news cycle right on your phone, there was a need for a one-stop shop major event once a year where you can just kind of push out your biggest news, and you just don't need that anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I hear you. E3, like you said, exactly. It's like such a big event where there was way more hype around it, and now all these companies seem to be doing their own little things, but in reality they drop them pretty often. It's like, great, we get all these, trailers or news on some games, but it isn't as hyped, or it's not as big as of an announcement. It happens a lot more often. So it's, I guess, it's good and bad. We get more information more frequently right from the source, but it's kind of fun to have an event. Also, I haven't had an opportunity to go to one of those. I feel like that's something that would be real fun to go to.
That's
But
true.
we keep talking about, is it gonna come back? Guys, are we forgetting? It's gonna be E3 remake. It's an E3 remake. Everything that dies comes back. Okay, we're just gonna remake E3, in like 5, 10 years from now, but it'll be back. But no, in all honesty, the big event itself, I feel like will be missed, especially by the people that really went to those things. It might seem like, oh yeah, because social media now and all these different avenues that these companies can go and explore and show what they're working on. It's kind of taken away from a big event, but I think slowly but surely, like Logan said, nostalgia. There's gonna be a reason for it, or there'll be an event, or maybe it starts turning into like the World Cup here. Well, every 4 years we'll do a big E3 event, something like that.
That wouldn't even be that bad if it was like every few years, or like especially like when they do like updates to their hardware. I wouldn't mind
Yeah.
that, even though we all know that Sony is not going to want to work with Microsoft, who's not going to want to work with Nintendo to make a joint event. That's the problem too.
So Sony's being real petty right now, So Sony's sour Sony.
Yeah, I mean, another thing, just to add real quick that I'm gonna miss about E3 that you just don't get from these live streams is a live reaction, like from a crowd. Like there was a juice and like an energy, even from home watching E3. Like when PlayStation announced the PS4, and then they took a shot at Xbox talking about how it was going to be $100 cheaper, and that it wasn't going to require, like it wasn't going to be like always on. You own your games, because like Xbox was talking about like the sharing games, and they like there was just all this like in uncertainty surrounding like the always needing a internet connection. There was so much like shadiness, I guess, for lack of a better word, around the announcement of the Xbox One, and PlayStation was able to come back and just take their shots because they went second, and the crowd just going nuts. Like you don't get that with these live streams. Right, like, you don't get that, you know what I
Ooh.
mean? You
You
get
hear
a
all the
guy
hand
in a
clapping?
suit just kinda just talking to nobody, and it's just like, "Oh, okay." You know what I mean? It's almost like a sitcom, and you have the laugh track, and it makes you wanna laugh because you hear other people laughing, right? And without that laughter, you're kinda just sitting there like, "Oh, okay." I feel like that's how I am when I watch these live streams. Like, I'm not, like, fired up and excited because I'm watching it, and it's just a person talking to me, and there's no excitement there either.
Yeah, yeah. It's weird now because everything is pre-recorded, so it's just awkward. And like people who try to be funny or have like charisma, it doesn't come off that well because there's nobody there to react to it. And that's kind of to your point. It is just odd now. Do you guys have like a specific memory of an E3? I know you brought up like the Xbox Sony thing, which was great. Sony did the smartest thing was they waited for Xbox to have their event, and then they switched theirs up so that way they can take shots at Xbox and having to always be online. And like you said, like it's going to be more expensive. But is there any other moments? Like for instance, I'm a big Final Fantasy fan. 2015 E3, they showcased the Final Fantasy VII remake tech demo, and it was like the most amazing. If you're an RPG fan, if you're a Final Fantasy fan, that was one of the most biggest surprises. And like for the longest time, we were waiting for that game to drop, and when it finally did, it wasn't what they showed in 2015, but it was still an amazing game. So I was happy that they at least weren't just using Final Fantasy as a tech demo just to showcase what PlayStation could do. They actually made it into a game. But that was my 2015, and Keanu Reeves for Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I gotta steal it, man. I was gonna go there. I was gonna say, hey, guess what? You want to know a real big one? The Cyberpunk and Keanu Reeves. But yeah, I couldn't really tell you another one. But boy, did Cyberpunk flop, man. But it is a great game. They just sold too much, and I don't think anyone's ever gonna touch the world engine or whatever the heck you want to call it of Rockstar Games and interactive with interactions with the public non players of the game.
Yeah, I one that really jumps out to me is the Watch Dogs. When they showed that Watch Dogs like
Oh man.
reveal, like I remember watching, and again, the game did not quite turn out the way that that demo did. I still like that game. I know it kind of got mixed reviews at the
Exactly.
time, but
Yeah.
like watching that reveal at E3, I'm like, that was the best looking game I had ever seen in
Right.
my life. Like I was
They
like,
be
this
making games look
looks
crazy.
incredible. And it was just like on the fly, like when he was driving and then he would pass like the pillars at like the road
Was this
stops and then
the
he would hit
first
the
Watch Dogs?
yeah, the first
Yeah,
Yeah,
one.
I remember
man.
that. I remember that.
Like
Dude,
the idea of hacking every single thing, it
Yeah.
just looked
hacking
like it was going to be so
everything.
much different than when you actually played it. But like, damn, it
And
was a
like
good
it
game.
did, and it's like it delivered on some of that stuff, but like obviously it just never it never felt as good and looked as good as it did on that demo. And of course not, right? Because they know what they're showing you. They're showing you the on the most high powered PC tech demo. Like, it's more selling you the concept than the actual game. But like I will never forget watching that reveal and being like, this is the most incredible video game I've ever
Yeah.
seen in my life.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of one that I was hyped for,
Go
if
for
you
it.
guys know one of my favorite games, and now that you said the Watchdog things, it made me think of it because it was Ubisoft. Boy, when they dropped the trailer of The Division, I literally the way they had the door closed but it was the way they were buffering or whatever they were doing to the sound, like when those people were communicating, it made it seem like a real like tactical, like, hey, going in on this way, come on this door, all
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
boom. Oh my, but the graphics and the Snowman Division 1,
Yeah, I remember exactly
beauty,
what you're talking about
great
when you're
game.
when you're
Yeah.
taking cover on the car, and if you go along it, he
Yeah,
shuts it. He
the
shuts the
door
door with his
closes,
hand.
which
Yeah,
which they actually do in the game, but it just looked
Yeah.
obviously like a little bit 2 times better than it really was.
I loved it. The first
Yeah,
division, man,
it's a great
that
game.
game was so
First,
good. I
pretty
liked
much
it a
my
lot more
favorite.
than the second one too. I don't know if that's a hot take or not. Just throwing it out there. I thought
That
Division
is
One was
not a
better.
hot take at all.
Mm.
That's not a hot take at all from the Division community, I would say. And I agree. I liked it too. I also think just I don't know, man. Everyone knows with gaming and graphics, just something about the snow and the way they made that 1-to-1 New York map. I mean, both games are freaking look amazing. Personally speaking, to me,
Did
they look great.
did the first division have the same kind of like map graphics? Like when you pulled up the map, it was almost like you
Yes.
were in the map. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like the same
Yeah,
kind of
that
UI.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That was awesome. I remember that too, and it's still one of the best like map overlays, I guess you could say, in the game.
yeah. Definitely. But E3, you will be missed
Yeah, we'll miss
from
you.
this GamerVice crew, but don't be surprised if there's an E3 remake, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on. It's me, Mario. Super Mario movie coming out 2 days from this recording. Hopefully, we'll drop this video for you guys in time. But yes, what do you guys think about this Super Mario movie? Do we think it's going to be received well? Do we think it's going to keep receiving hate for the Chris Pratt voice? Yeah, lots to talk about. Logan, Kevin?
I don't understand the hate for the Chris Pratt voice. I mean, in all of the games combined, right? Like, how much does he even talk? Like, it's the weirdest thing. I could see if it was like a protagonist. Like, I could see if it was like
You're right.
Nathan Drake, right, who talks nonstop, and then they brought in an actor who like I don't know. I don't even know what to compare. I guess didn't had an accent because I know a lot of people are upset about the accent. So like if you had like
I'm
someone with
Nathan
a really
Drake.
strong like English accent playing Nathan Drake, like I can kind of understand it a little bit, but it's like the guy doesn't even talk in the games. How do we know what he actually sounds like?
You're
You
right.
know what I
All
mean?
he says is,
Yep.
it's Mario. It's
Yeah.
me, Mario. Like, you're right. I have to agree with you there. I think Chris Pratt's going to do a phenomenal job. I think, and to be honest, if it was that voice, the high pitched Mario voice, I hate to say it, but I think we'd all get tired of it in 10 minutes if we had to watch an hour and a half movie with that voice.
Bro, I
It'd
think if
probably get a
think
little
if
irritating.
I think if somebody used that accent the whole time, there would be nothing but hate that it was offensive and like
Oh my
Oh
God.
and
man, yeah,
stereotyping like
you know?
Italians. You know what I mean? Like because I feel like if you think about it, and I know we weren't thinking about this, all those years ago, but I feel
Yeah.
like if you think about it, it's kind of like it kind of toes that line, but it's become
Yeah.
accepted. And I'm not saying I'm offended by it, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like in 2023, if you made this movie and this character just had this really strong stereotypical accent, there would be nothing but outrage.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And let's be honest, if they wanted voice actors, they would have gotten professional voice actors. The fact that they hired Chris Pratt and Jack Black, who actually does an amazing job as Bowser, and then
And who does Luigi? What's his name? Yeah.
Charlie Day does Luigi. Seth Rogen does Donkey Kong. Like the fact that they have, he does himself, which is something that I've read. But he even said it. He even said in an article I read that when they wanted to hire him, when they wanted to cast him for the role, he was like, I'm going to do my voice. I'm letting it be known right now. I'm not trying to play a voice. You're going to hear me as Donkey Kong. That's what it's going to be like.
Donkey Kong.
And that's what it was. So, but yeah, I don't understand the hate. And you're right. If we had to hear an hour and a half of that high pitched voice, we would leave that theater like that was too much. That was way too much.
But yeah, you guys in the comments, let us know if you're gonna go watch the movie. Let us know if you think the movie's gonna be good. If you do watch it, let us know how it was. I actually am quite on the side of I think it's gonna be a good movie. Am I gonna go pay to watch it in the movie theater? Probably not, because inflation. Tickets are expensive. But
this guy said inflation.
I'll watch the movie. But speaking on the Mario movie, what other video games do we think need to be brought to life in the cinema, or just TV series? Anything you guys have in mind?
Real quick, just to take a step back, I think Mario is going to do very well. I think that's going to be the highest grossing movie for the weekend that it's out, and I feel like it's going to be one of those things that it becomes like the highest grossing movie on Easter weekend, or how they give you these weird statistics. Like, I feel like it's going to.
They're going to narrow it down
on a Wednesday, which is odd.
Right.
It is out on a Wednesday. I wonder what they went with that.
Well, I think it's Friday's Good Friday, right? If you
you're right.
So I think it's gonna, and I think it looks pretty good. Like I'm gonna go see it. Like I think I might go see it. I don't really go to the movies that often anymore, but I kind of want to see that movie in theaters because I feel like watching Mario on the big screen would be fun, except for his voice.
I'll watch it on Tuesday. Half price movies on Tuesday. That's when I'll go watch it.
This frugal guy over here.
For first inflation, now we're talking about half price movie tickets. But Kevin, do you have a movie in mind that you would like or a game in mind you would like to see turn into a movie?
I would like. Well, it depends though, because there's two types of movies. There's like live action, or there's two types of media. There's live action, so they're like The Last of Us, and then what they're doing now with Super Mario, which is CGI.
CGI was at this rate. I don't know. Is that what you call it now?
Would I like to see a live action movie? What I think it's funny that I'm saying this because they've made remakes. I would like to see a Resident Evil done again. I know that.
Oh god.
I know that it's been done to death, but I just would like it to be done better. I don't think I don't think that it was done that great. And the same thing with like Monster Hunter. There's the same actress who did Monster Hunter and ironically enough, Resident Evil. I'd like to see a better Monster Hunter done. But I don't know. As far as like CGI goes, it's kind of tough. I don't know if you guys have anything. Like, do you think of something? You know what?
I have a very specific one.
Go ahead.
I would like to see Sifu, and I would want it directed by the guy and stunt coordinated by whoever does John Wick. Sifu done in the style of John Wick, I think would be sick. Or a movie like Doom, just super violent, crazy action from beginning to end, also done by the people who've done John Wick, because that is like a perfect action movie.
Yeah, I think that would be great. Or if you've ever seen, I think the Daredevil series, that was like a very dark series, and they did some really cool choreography with that. I like that choreography a lot. So if they had something similar to that, but yeah, 100%, Sifu would be cool. Sifu, that would be real interesting because of the concept of that game, where like if he dies or whatever, or he gets hurt or whatever, he ages. So
Yeah, every time you die, you age.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think that could be a pretty good movie. You know,
who would you? I don't know if you thought this far ahead, but do you have somebody in mind as far as like the actor who should play Sifu?
Oh no, I didn't give it that much thought. Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, you know what? Go for it. That'd be great. What about you, Hank? Did you think of any movie or series?
Now that I was just gonna make a joke because you said actor. I want Vin Diesel as a God of War in the movie.
Absolutely
But
not.
I'm kidding.
Absolutely. Only if you want it to flop.
God of War. I think a movie. But see, the three I have in mind is either you could do them in a series or you make a few movies. Because I would love to see Red Dead Redemption has two great stories in it, 1 and 2. Real hard hitting movies. A hard hitting story. A movie would do really well. Horizon, if they could bring that in live action with the CGI and the machines, I think that would be great. As far as I'd have to really think, it's not gonna come to my head now. Who could play Alloy? That'd be a good movie. But those are my takes: God of War, Red Dead, and Horizon.
You know what would be a good series? Division. I feel like that would be a good series too.
Speaking, I'm pretty. You know what? I'd have to go back and check. They were working on something. I'm pretty sure there was supposed to be a Division movie in the works.
Yeah,
I think there was like Jake Gyllenhaal.
And I don't know what happened. Now that we're talking about it,
You know who'd be a really good Kratos, by the way? Batista.
You think so? I feel like those guys are too old now. No,
I mean, I feel like Kratos is pretty old.
I guess it depends
Batista would definitely be a good Kratos.
Which part. It depends which part of God of War you would want him to play, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like with as popular as the newer games are, like if they were gonna do it, it would definitely be like that, like the later games versus the newer games. Gears of War, what Batista as Marcus Phoenix was always like a fan dream. I feel like that would still be cool, but again, he might be like, to your point, he might be a little too old for that now.
There's definitely, if anything, The Last of Us and now Super Mario with the CGI has shown that there are some really good storytelling in video games that, if done right, can translate to some amazing TV form content.
Absolutely.
Like I think another cool game turned movie, if they, and I think that it would be best to keep it animated, kind of in the way of Mario, but like a Zelda animated movie could be really cool.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I guess we have to see how Mario does, because in this industry, if it doesn't do well, we'll never see another one.
Yeah. Everybody else is going to be scared.
Until they do a Super Mario movie remake.
Damn remakes. Since we keep talking about these damn remakes, Resident Evil, the movie that their show Kevin wants here for the millionth time, the Resident Evil 4 remake, reviews are in, and the people are raving about the game. I mean, it was a great game to begin with, so if you remake it, how's it not going to get good reviews? That's how I feel.
You sound upset about it. You sound like you sound upset about it.
I'm just the question is, okay, you guys let us know in the comments. These two guys are gonna let us know in a second. But last week when we talked about these remakes, I wasn't in love with the idea. I said the one little bright spot I found was, you know what? Maybe they're doing it for the new generation of gamers. They want them to experience the games that we got to experience.
It's true.
And that's the one thing I'm okay with. But obviously there's been some success in some of these remakes. Capcom specifically has been doing a good job, right? But now, do you guys start to sway or change your opinions? Do we think remakes is a good space in the gaming industry right now?
I think remakes are a safe space is the problem, if anything, right?
Ooh, good
It's
word,
not
good word.
it's not necessarily that I want remakes. I'd rather them try something new. Take these characters and make a prequel or a sequel. I'd rather that than to give me the same story that I've already experienced. I get that there are people who haven't experienced it, but you know what? You go experience it like we experienced it.
Yeah,
Why do you need to waste I shouldn't say waste. Why do you need to take a developer's time and effort to remake something that was already done? That's
yeah,
my opinion on it. I'd rather them try something else, even if it's in the same world that those games were in. I'd rather something be new.
I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it's a safe space, especially for beloved games like Resident Evil 4. Like you do a Resident Evil 4 remake, you know it's gonna sell. You don't even have to worry about that. I'm okay with remakes as long as they are indeed remakes. Like I feel like that's what makes what Resident Evil or rather what Capcom is doing with Resident Evil so special. Like I didn't play Resident Evil 3 remake, but I played RE2 remake and I loved it. And I actually played the original Resident Evil 2 on PS1. Like me and my sister
Yep.
played it all the time when I was a kid. Well, I mainly watched her play because I was a little young and like it was difficult for me. But like remembering that game as a kid and then playing the remake, and the remake felt so fresh and it was like it was familiar enough, but there was still like so many new elements to it that made it so much more enjoyable. Same with Resident Evil 4. Like I'm excited to play. Like I haven't gotten a chance to play yet, but I'm definitely going to. Like I'm excited when I hear from people and reviewers who say they played the game 100 times throughout the years and now they're playing this one and it feels new and it feels fresh. I like that. Like to me, that's a real remake. It's more the remasters that I have an issue
yeah.
with, which is like pretty much the same game, just up-resed. Like that, I feel like
Like
it's just
GTA.
lazy. Yeah, like it's just
Uh,
lazy.
like speaking of, and this is where I guess I need to do some more research, but I'm trying to understand when we get these remakes. All right, for example, Capcom developed, right, the Resident Evil 4 remake. I don't understand, like, so the Grand Theft Auto thing, it was like, oh, somebody else dealt with the remaster. My issue is remake, remaster, the resources that is being put towards it is where I have an issue. For example, you have Arc 2 that I guess it got delayed, but then I'm reading that there's the Arc remaster that's also in the works right now. Like, how are you working on a sequel? This is where I don't understand, like, resources that's being used is help. Somebody's got to help me understand, because how are you making a sequel, but you over here worried about remastering the old stuff? Like, I don't want the old shit. I want the new shit. And now you telling me you gonna remaster this and you're gonna delay my new shit. Like, come on now. Like, what's it gonna be? Talk
Yeah,
to
I
me
have an
here.
issue with that.
That
I think
that's
that's
where I'm like, yo, find the balance, or it's like your IP's not even done. Like the Resident Evil, like right, we haven't got no Resident Evil. To my not like, it's done. So I can understand they're going back remaking this. It's something they brought back from the dead. Like you out
Unintended.
here, we waiting for Arc 2. Yeah, I see what I did there. You waiting for Arc 2. And
You didn't even know you did it. Stop it.
they don't know that, man. That was good when you was like, oh yeah, that's nice. That's nice. But Arc 2 here, and now we worried about this remaster. Like, and now we pushing back Arc 2. Talking about 2024. Ridiculous.
and
See,
again,
so I want to know how far GTA 6 is getting pushed because of all the stuff they've been doing with GTA 5 and the 3 remasters. Go ahead.
I'd be willing to bet that Arc, whoever the developers are running low on funds or feel like they need more funds to finish Arc 2. So if they put out that Arc remaster, they already know they have a base, an install base that's already there, people who are
Okay.
going to buy it, and then it because they are it's pretty much already built, right? Especially if it's a remaster, not a remake. It's like all we're really doing is up resing it. Like there's not a ton of work to be done, but they already probably have an idea that we're going to get X amount of dollars, and then we'll be able to put that money into Arc 2. Like, that would not surprise me at all if that was the case.
Well, game developers, I have a message for you. Just be transparent with us. I don't know why you do what you do. Okay. But yeah.
I just
That's
want to
all I
say,
got.
because I just thought of this while we were talking. I don't know why this popped up, but it's to circle back a little bit. TV or movie of Infamous. I think that would be really cool.
Ooh,
that would be cool.
that would be nice. That would be nice. Yeah. I like it.
Another thing, Hank, like you mentioned about transparency, it's so weird. Like, I feel like gaming is like the gaming industry is like the most secretive industry in the world. Like, literally, we find out about movies and TV shows like
Yeah.
immediately, and it's like they don't care. It's like, yeah, we're working on that movie. It'll come out as something. We're working on. With games, it's like, no comment, no comment. It's like everything is held so close to the chest, and I'm like, I don't understand why. Like,
And
I
game community. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was just gonna say, like, I almost understood it more when there was an E3, and it's like we're holding this huge
Yeah.
news until June. But now with everything coming out all of the time, it's like, why do you have to keep this as such a big secret? Like, let's just say, for example, right? Like, or I don't even need to use a hypothetical. Every year we know Madden is coming out. Does that hurt Madden sales? Like, no, like there doesn't need, like, we always know they're working on a new Madden. Madden is always one of the best selling games of the year. It's like Call of Duty. We know you're working on Call of Duty. It's going to be the highest selling game of the year. I don't know why there seems to be like such secrecy surrounding like these games, and when they're coming out, if they're coming out, are they being worked on? It's like you hear about Naughty Dog. Oh, we're working on an unannounced project. Just tell us what you're working on. It's not going to make
Yeah. Unannounced
any more
project.
or less, like, we're not going to be any more or less like excited, or you're not going to sell any more or less if you said, hey, we're like, yeah, we're working on a new IP, but it's nowhere close to being out yet. Like, it might take us another 4 years. You think we're going to be like, man, why'd you tell us? Like, no. I don't get that.
It's true.
That's what we're gonna leave it at. All right. You guys let us know in the comments. You game developers, stop hiding. All right. It's like, hide your kids, hide your wives, hide your developers. No, come out. We need to see you. Man, hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Please like the video, sub to the channel, drop a comment. Let us know what you want us to talk about. These two guys did a great job today. And
hey, and you too, man. You too. Don't.
Hey, appreciate it,
Yeah,
man.
you
Appreciate
too, man.
it. Thank you.
I gotta
Always.
say, you're probably the best host this show's ever had.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. You should do more often.
He's very. Oh, okay. Well, there you have it, guys. Your host,
New
Hank.
host.
GAMERViCE. Catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.